How's it going?
Okay, everybody. So, my name's Hayden Michael, and I have finally mastered my Shadow Clone Jutsu. If you're wondering, yes, I will be showing up to Area 51. It's going to be right before my birthday. Of course I'm going. Happy birthday to me. But either way, in all seriousness, I wanted to do a different type of video today. By the way, disregard the Area 51 joke. We shouldn't joke about that because, I think we should joke about it, but at the same time, if people do take that seriously, I'm sorry, but y'all dudes dying. But I wanted to take some time and talk about, why do I keep fucking spurging? So, I'm going out on a limb today with this video, as I've been criticizing a ton of different ideas. I'm going to talk about the good side of magic, or the good side of manifestation, or what it can do. And now, the reason that I'm kind of just making one video about this for now is because, you give an inch and people will take a mile. It's just going to happen. There are tons of responsible people out there. You probably already know who you are. But let's talk about the practical side, because a lot of gurus out there, nowadays, they tap into this market, this practical side of things, We should be, Jason Miller's about this, talking about how, witches should be, more wealthy. They shouldn't just be like, oh, these spiritual people who don't accumulate wealth or anything like that or move up or, they're moving out of that. And so a lot of people are focusing on the practical side of things. Now, depending on how far they go, it's not as practical. If you're getting advice for how to get rid of astral watchers, I don't know how practical you think that is to your life. Maybe you think that there's an astral seeker out there that's affecting how you are at work. I don't fucking know. I don't know how you know. I don't even know how anybody really comes to that conclusion. But I really don't know how to start this video, to be honest, because I'm going to be honest. I'm in my underwear. As I said, I've been busy working on a big project, which I still need a little bit more time. I may need a month, but not a month off. I'll post like I am today. Didn't plan on posting this today, but I was having a discussion with a friend. Actually, that's how we'll start it. So I was out with a buddy of mine who kind of got into the cult right before I got out. So it was a weird transition. I got off the bus, he got on. And we're talking about spirit communication and how when this individual will communicate with a spirit or call upon one, or I didn't get the details too much, but he will get thoughts that aren't like his, something that he wouldn't have thought on his own. And if you remember me saying this somewhere, I think in the occult series or right before that, I was talking about how I had a hypothesis that when people are calling spirits or any entity outside of themselves, what I think that does, number one, I think it opens you up for more ideas. Not everybody. A lot of people are just going to hear their same mind feed loop back, whatever. But, what you hear a lot when people communicate with other entities, beings, spirits, angels, whatever, sometimes they will get just dogged on, So you have this kind of like other half of you that's like, yo, man, you're fucking around, time to get your ass up. And so you get this second man, or second woman, second voice. And then sometimes it doesn't even seem like something you thought of, as my friend said. And as I've said on the channel before, you could look at it as a way to get ideas that you normally wouldn't come up with. Now, when you say this, people do not keep it at this level because it would be obvious, all the magical literature that is over on that bookshelf, you could black out just a ton of it, talking about solar energy and all this other shit. But could these things have practical uses like this? It's like I mentioned in the occult video number 2, I think is called Divination Dilemma. Yeah, Divination Dilemma. And in that video, I was talking about how if you're going to think, see, there's a couple ways. There's actually a lot of ways to look at this. So there's some people who believe that, more the New Ager idea, that, the universe will essentially give you the card that is necessary for your problem. Like, it won't be the solve, because if there were all the solves when they don't work, It just kind of falls flat. And so the universe brings you the cards at the right time. And so you put this weight in this one card that you pick, or maybe 3, or maybe 10, depending on what tarot spreads you're doing. They can get really intricate. There's Celtic spreads, there's Golden Dawn cross threads, there's all kinds of different, did I say threads? Freds. Maybe preds? Either way, so tarot spreads. And I was mentioning in that video, what you could do is you could say, okay, there's 78 ways to look at a problem, or look at a situation, or at a person, or whatever you're divining, essentially. So you got 78 different ways to look at it. And if you're looking at it if you're looking at it like that, you're not putting so much weight, so much divine power onto one card, like, ooh, this is the way to go, and then you let the cards rule your life. But are you letting the cards rule your life? Because in my opinion, I think you're just ruling your life, but through the cards. And so you could look at this as, why don't I just pick a card and look at the problem from a different angle? And then you might want to just do another one, and then another one, and another one. Or you might want to do a spread. Now, the thing is that people won't just do these, because honestly, it kind of takes the magic out. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason magic is so seductive. Manifestation is so damn seductive. To think that I'm a person who just wants to debunk it, even though I did in that manifestation video, I think it was like debunking law of attraction. And that was just for more of a easier title to make. But it's not that I want to debunk manifestation or magic, but the models that it's based off of right now are bunk, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of people who have been in those communities a lot longer than me that are definitely smarter than me, that I think could figure out, actually, wait, if it's going on like this, why does this happen? Or to really get down into the details. And I don't know why people don't like this. There's a lot of people online that are trying to get down to the nitty-gritty. As I mentioned in the last Pseudobabble video, there's a Reddit user named 3 Scarabs. I went over one of his posts in that video. I wasn't too much of a fan of that post, I'm going to be honest. I like some of his other work. I'm interested in where he's going, and I like what he's doing. I'm not against the spiritual people or, anything like that. I definitely don't believe in the supernatural anymore, but, that's on yourself for like that. Fuck, I can't speak today. I swear it happens if I just don't do YouTube for a while. But I'm not here to, debunk everything. But I do want to put some seeds of doubt in some areas, because those are the areas that should be questioned. And it's not questioned to be like, see, gotcha. I want a good answer. And so I'm asking hard questions, and I'm thinking of where the pitfalls in these theories are. If you want to say to debunk it, sure. But I don't really think that's such a bad thing. So if we have 10 people who go and buy a bag of chips from the store, and only 3 out of 10 say that the bag of chips was good, the other 7 talked about how some of the bags only had a couple chips, some of the bags were stale, and this and that. Now, what if that kept on happening? Now, when somebody questions, okay, why are the potato chips stale? Or why aren't there that many? Imagine the other 3 people are like, dude, it's fine. You're just being a little butt. That's exactly what it sounds like when you've got people who are online, because you can see it all the time on the manifestation boards and things like that, where they will pound the concrete, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not meaning they tried too hard to manifest it, that's why it didn't work. They all have every fucking little answer under the sun for that. But people who did it for years and thought that they were getting results, and then they noticed that it kind of works without it. Kind of works better sometimes without it. And these people come out online, it's like they get dogged for it. Oh, you just didn't do it right. It's like when somebody leaves the faith. And by the faith, I mean Christianity. Or, Islam, or whatever you believe. And they say, oh, well, you weren't a true Christian. You didn't actually know Jesus. If you would have known Jesus, you wouldn't have left. I know specifically that over on Mind and Magick's channel, whenever he did the great debate with Michael, the Christian. He was talking crap about how Michael was talking about how, oh, you can't understand the Bible because you don't have the Holy Spirit. And then he goes on to say in that debate, if you left the occult, you must not have really been good at the occult. And that's exactly like Michael saying, you can't understand because you didn't actually have the Holy Spirit. If he probably would have said, if you had the Holy Spirit, then you probably would have never left Christianity. It's like the same loop of like different, it's insane to me. So it's about asking the good questions. Either way, I think I'm like just going off on a tangent, to be honest. It's already at 12 minutes. So let's get to what I was talking about. I was mentioning my buddy, he talked about the practical side of spirit communication. Now, I know that even in the community, pagans, magicians, Wiccans, law of attractioners alike. Well, no, not law of attraction. Well, there's some weird law of attractioners that do spirit thought form communication, but we'll go with the supernatural side, because when you're believing that there's an entity out there with outside knowledge, like knowledge from the outside looking in, you're going to trust them more. Why wouldn't you? But we all know that the community says never trust a spirit. Always be skeptical about what they tell you. Now, why is that? And so that's what kind of gets people out of the doghouse, out of the reasoning doghouse. Whenever you say, well, I asked the spirit for this name, and they gave me the wrong name. Either you weren't actually talking to a spirit, or, like the community says, you were lied to. Now, it's hard to prove when somebody lies in real life. And then when you move it over to the spirit side, now everything gets way tricky. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who you're calling. Oh, but sure. Well, I did a specific invocation of Venus. Okay, man. I'm getting Venusian spirits, People, man, it's specifically the people on, I don't want to say Reddit. I'd say Facebook all the damn way. Facebook's the place you'll go, and there's like 29 answers for one question. And they're all different. And this doesn't help new people getting in who actually need the practical side. And so this is why it's important to kind of sift that real supernatural belief out, because it muddies up the water for the practical side. Thinking that, okay, I'm calling up Lucifer. I'm going to hit him up on like Kick or something. And, you do a working with him. And you're trying to get yourself to a goal. Now you're like, wait a second, Hayden. This is exactly what people are saying about the occult nowadays. Here's my problem. I don't like the whole idea of magic is a tool for the mind to get what it wants, or it's just a tool to get the subconscious mind out of it. There's certainly not enough evidence for any of that. But if you want to say, like I used to say as I was kind of deconverting, it seems that when you're doing magic, you do more action. Now, we know that action reaps results. We don't really have any results for thought. Now, we have examples of thought leading to action. Now, you're like, well, this is magic. Okay, well, how does will over will magic work? Because, see, you need a supernatural agent for that. You need something. You need something that we can't see, can't test, can't really argue against or disprove, to just fill in whatever you want. And so it's real fucking hard, especially when you're in belief. See, it's way easier to just come out and be full skeptic if you want, or whatever, and then go back and just take what you kind of learned and form your own belief. Because if that's what you want to do, because I understand, some people need beliefs. Like there's an apologist online. I forget his name. He's on YouTube too. Oh man. So he's a guy that was like in prison because he like stabbed his dad a bunch of times. He like wanted to go out in the woods and peel people's faces off of their skin. But either way, dude found Jesus and he doesn't want to do that anymore. And I am so fucking glad. So fucking glad that he found Jesus. Even if Jesus isn't real. Even if Jesus isn't actually divine, I'm happy he found whatever the fuck he found. Because guess what? He's probably not gonna murder. Probably. And his, feelings aren't there anymore. He's more convicted. And this is why, you'll hear Christians say, people will do better if they have a higher purpose. There's no correlation to that. But when you have these off cases, and I don't know who out there is watching it, and that's why I don't want people spreading stuff like, oh, they going to the moon with magic. And when I mean going to the moon, I mean affecting things at a distance. There is no evidence for that. And so you have to take everything that fits into that camp out. And then you realize, so is manifesting for a job really doing anything under the surface? Or is it making me more confident? You see, before I got out of this, I was taking a test, and I did not think I was going to damn do well at all. You could say I was not confident in myself. Now, I did, and this was the time I'm talking about. I've talked about on the channel. I did magic involving Mercury for like over a year, and it was just solid that. And so I did a working with Mercury the night before the test. And I made this little fold-up paper that I sealed with wax, and it's somewhere over there. I haven't gotten rid of it. But I took that in, I had a sigil inside, and I felt pretty damn good going in there about the test. And now you could think, wait a second, you were thinking about the magic while you did that. Oh, wait, it gets better, too. Because I don't like all these little nitpicky rules about magic. Do your own thing. Quit trying to forget about it. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You really are. And if you think about things that you want, you got to just do things for things you don't want. And it's very counterproductive, counterintuitive as well. But I go in and feel very damn confident about it, more than if I hadn't done the magic. And I know that for a fact. Even saying that in my seat of disbelief, I know that I would not have done as good because I got like a 98 out of 100. I was expecting to get probably a 70, honestly. And I was like, well, hot diggity dog. Now you could just ask me, how do I know that the magic had anything to do with it? And my position at the time was, I don't know. I just did it. And so you could be like, well, is there any harm to this type of magic? And in my seat now of disbelief, I don't think there is too much harm if you're just very, very careful about your beliefs, about what you think, and about what you act on. And about the literature you read, too, because without realizing it, you'll get taken down a trail and you'll accept 3 claims that are just completely false without even realizing it. And so, well, what else can I do with this type of shit? Well, as I said, if you wanted to do tarot, just look at things in a different light or throw some runes, by all means. But don't think that something's on the outside acting for you. That's when you get into trouble, and that's where a lot of people get really blasted egos. As I said, I think that there's not really anything magical going on. All of you people that are manifesting things, you're just either A, good hard-ass workers, B, privileged. And I don't mean that in like the political way that people always fucking talk about. I mean that because whenever you read some manifestation stories, some of them are like, really magical. It's like, oh my gosh, I asked the universe for this, and then it came to me like $10,000, like without any work done. And so, that's a nice privilege. But it's one of those two things. And the thing is that we all know that what you have today is something that you couldn't have tomorrow. And so magic, manifestation, the law of attraction can help comfort you a lot. I don't know how long you need to be comforted. I got out of it because I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Might not be for you, might not be for anybody, honestly. But if you are thinking about it, if you are noticing that things are going wrong, you're having problems in your relationship with family members because of your beliefs, if you're noticing that you're just kind of going downhill, might be time for a change. Because even when I was into the occult, we all know You kind of have to take some breaks. Sometimes you get a little too deep and you lose your mind a bit. Sometimes you come back. Some people don't. Some people really don't. I can surely attest for things in magic as being almost like a change agent, but I'm not convinced it was the magic. And some people are going to actually, even though I've kind of gone through them already, still say, well, Hayden, this is what magic is. Well, no, because what magic is, or what people were saying, let's go with the Crowley definition, because that's where everyone goes off of for some reason. Magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. Now, there's so many times that you can do magic, and things happen that aren't in conformity with your will. And so, boom, the definition just gone. I don't care about that one anymore. Plus, it's not even a science. I don't even consider it an art. I'd consider it a practice. I don't know. It's just weird. I think he's throwing that in there for intellectual flair. You don't need it. We need a better definition. What about Jason Miller's? Magic is the science and art of influencing change to occur in conformity with will. It's very similar, except it leaves room for error. Now that's your decision on whether you think that's just verbal trickery or maybe he's getting somewhere. I don't know yet. Because as I said with the taking the test magic, do I think it probably influenced my confidence and overall well-being during the test? Yes, because we know that when you have higher confidence, because we know that when you're testing or quizzing on something, people with higher confidence end up doing better than people who are doubting right before the test. And we've tested that, funny enough. And so, yeah, after doing the magic, I felt pretty damn confident. As I said, just if the ritual makes you feel calm and you've got a lot of anxiety, keep fucking doing it. I'm not trying to just blow everything to shreds, but take the supernatural out of it. And it makes things way more practical. You don't have to go to all these books that, oh yeah, we're going to be practical magicians nowadays. No, you don't got to do any of that. Take it from me. I don't have a practice anymore. I sacrificed that to be able to come to the conclusions that I have now. Because believe it or not, one of the reasons that I gave up spirituality is because I could not use the same logic I was using for some things with other things. And as I mentioned a while back, I was going through a lot of cognitive dissonance. I didn't think I could think correctly. You might say I still don't think correctly. That's why I'm working on it. But I knew for a fact I had to drop spiritual beliefs all in all just because it was creating a logical block with me. And I know other people feel like that too. And I know that they really want to still have a practice because it's almost like a habit and it helps. And as I mentioned in the video right before the pseudo-babble video, I forget what it's called, but trading spirituality for trading skepticism for spirituality. See, I'm talking about, you go into the hospital, rather than hoping that your chakra balance is fixing whatever, you can end up just hoping that the doctor does a good job or this, whatever's going on. You might say, Hayden, well, what about the confidence thing? We know that higher confidence, it heals you and this and that. I'm sorry, I've looked more into the health stuff about the whole, placebo, and man, it's so iffy. I'm not going to say any words on it because I still am looking into it. And I think that everybody should. I don't think everybody should just take whatever a fucking magic book said or take what just a skeptic book said. Try to look into things to a point that you can teach them. That's honestly the best way to go, because then as you teach yourself, and if you're thinking critically about your own self, then you will catch yourself bullshitting. I promise it happens. It's why I've corrected myself on this channel. It's why I'm going to come back and correct those live stream videos that I made talking about Frater. Said some good things, said some not so good things. Said some things I agree with, said some things I don't so agree with. And so, yeah, I'm going to come back and correct those. And so, do that as you practice. Let your practice feed into that. When you're meditating, meditate on your beliefs. Try that. Why have I never read that in a book somewhere? By the way, where the fuck is Ivan? guess it's Ivan's sick day. Oh well. I don't have any other frogs around here. By the way, yeah, you can totally pray to Ivan and he will fuck with you. I swear to Ivan. All you need is any frog statue, plush toy, anything frog-like. All right, that's the only vessel that Ivan needs. He's not powerful enough to make direct communication with people yet. He does need something. He needs something on this physical plane to act through, and so you're gonna have to get something. I'm not making them for you. But yes, you can pray to Ivan. Shit, I even mentioned doing that. If you people want more of a practical practice, I will design Ivanian magic. If people so please it, I will design something and I will put it here on YouTube. I'll be like, here you go, here's the spell, here's how you do it, bada bing, bada boom. And then when we get all the good testimonials, I'll be like, see, Ivan works. Ivan's fucking real. It's funny, the buddy I was talking about at the beginning of this, he was like, dude, you're gonna fuck around and create an egregore with that. And, he ain't lying. But yeah, stay out of the spiritual shit. Stay out of the will over will magic. It's a load of bullshit. It really is. Don't... So let's say you're wanting to perform a love spell on Susie Luhu, right? And you want her to just be more charmed to you. You know what I'm saying? And so doing this might make you think, she's starting to like me. And you see, that's the confirmation bias. And the confirmation bias can sometimes help, I'll be honest. And so let me show you how this works. You do the love spell, right? And we already know that, and we've experienced this. I know everyone's experienced this. When you know that somebody likes you, that you think's pretty cute, you could get in with them, you know what I'm saying? When you know that they like you, it changes your attitude around them. You feel totally different than just you liking them. It's not a crush anymore. It's, you know what I'm saying? And so you do magic, and you have this belief that it's like going to change their will. And so any little sign of attraction is going to be confirmation bias, which will feed into your confidence, boost that up. You thinking she likes you changes the way you act around her. And since you and her are together, she might not have been attracted to the type of person you were, but let's assume both. Let's assume she was. Bam, there you go. Easy said and done. But if she wasn't, this attitude change, this confidence change, this persona change could be the thing that attracts her. And then you get with her and you're like, ha, see, the spell worked. I'd rather somebody like me for me than think that I controlled it. I don't know. It just seems really beta, pathetic, and cuck-like, but I don't know. That's just me. You don't have to do all these things. You don't have to do any of them. Take a break for 2 weeks. And anytime you think about doing magic for something, don't do it. Do something that you don't think controls anybody else, something that you could do on your own. See, if you want to test to see if there's really magic in the machine, you can do what they've done online. I don't remember where I saw this, but they were talking about how you tell a Christian who thinks that God's answering their prayers because what they pray about comes true or comes to pass, therefore God's real. They say, all right, well, instead of praying to God, go get a milk jug and pray to it for 2 weeks about the same things that you do. And you'll notice that they happen at the same rate of chance. See, if you stop doing magic for about 2 weeks and start doing magic to Ivan or a milk jug, why does it work at the same rate? Oh, well, Hayden, that's a thought form. Now you're creating a milk jug thought form. We might make milk jug God too. We're gonna create a pantheon. We're gonna have Ivan the frog. We're gonna have a shark. We're gonna have no, I don't know what we're gonna have. It'll be great. But yeah, you do Ivan magic, and it happens at the same rate of chance. Does that mean that Ivan's real? And you're like, well, no. And so you can only really fall back on this thought form magic, on this type of, we're using these things to our advantage as tools of the mind. But we don't have really enough evidence to really say that or put that out as a theory. There really is not enough. So I don't like falling on that little line. I don't think it's good. I think you could just take a break, and then you see that doing no magic kind of gives you the same results, sometimes better, maybe worse. Who knows? fucking try it. But you might notice that there's some things that you need help with, you need a boost with. You may be super anxious about something, and, probably if I got super anxious about something, I'd sit down and I'd do middle pillar or something, if I was getting way too anxious. I just would. Now, do I believe there's any spiritual power to it? Nah, not at all. You don't have to take this thought either. And don't think that just because I made this video, okay, there we go. We're doing magic videos now, and I know I said I'm going to do some Ivan spell videos just because, and that'll be fun. But we're still going to get critical about things. We're still going to go over some channels. Eventually, I want to go over Aaron Dowdy, the guy that talks about knowledge of the fifth dimension and all these planes, and he's a wacky one. But before that, we've got a couple projects to finish. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I really wish that I could post more. But honestly, I want to get this next project out because it's been a long time coming, and I'm trying to get out of this apartment. Yeah, this setup's not gonna be here forever, so fucking enjoy it. I'm getting out of this apartment here in about 3 months, 2 months, and I'm either going to be at a place for I'm either gonna be at my next place for about 6 months, and then finally getting into the place that I want to be, or I might just stay at the place that I'm going. I'm not sure yet, but I'm working a lot so that I can get the hell out of here and pay for all this moving shit, because I might have to move shortly after that. But everything is going good. I just need time, and so I'm probably going to come back. If I don't get a video out next week, I'll probably just make another pseudo-babble. We might do a drunk pseudo-babble sometime. Who knows? But I don't want to get back up on the horse until I get this project done. It's been a lot of trouble. It's been a pain in my ass. Yeah, it's been a pain in my ass. I'll tell you that. It's been a pain in my ass. It's been a pain in their ass. But I want to come back and give my side of things and explain my honest position, as it's not reflected on YouTube. And so, with that being said, praise Ivan, and I won't even have to will for you to prosper. You'll just already have a great day.